Hello everybody, my name is Benjamin and today in this video I have to explain all the topics that we already studied. We have uh, some topics and in the first week we study interaction in the classroom. Well, according to this information, interaction in the classroom, the teacher have to use different techniques to teach and to put in practice the interaction between the students and when they are study any topic in a classroom, the teacher have to explain to them the information or the topic that he was talking about in that moment, and the students have to give their point of view or use different techniques and to teach and to learn English and make that the student can put in practice the things that they know, and put in practice they can work together in groups or only with another person but in the class, and give their point of view about the topic that is studied in that moment, and according with this information, and this is one of the best way to learn English. Put in practice, it's almost the same. I always say that practice is all, or interaction is all, because when you put in practice the things that you know, and when you speak with another person and maybe the other person knows some words, and you don't know those words, and you are learning and you are explaining the things and telling the words that you know, you have to say or speak like me. I am speaking and I'm not reading nothing. I have in my hands some pages, and I have here the information about the topic, but only some keywords. Only some keywords. I don't have here all the information, so I am doing an or explaining. And this is a good way or the best way to learn English. And when you are in when you are in other places, for example in the United States, the people say how this lady or this man learn English in a faster way, because in the United States there are many people who are speaking English, and you can uh, you can uh, you can speak with them and doing an interaction with another people who know more English than you, and in this way we learn faster faster because you are speaking, doing the interaction, and moving and watching, so you are learning in the real life, and words, you hear words that you hear every day, but here it's very hard because uh, here there are not much people who are speaking English, and we almost don't have people who practice with for English. So I think this is the first interaction. Interaction is a good way to learn English, and in the second week, as I have here my page, in the second week is it's a how to teach the beginner students. Well, in the beginner to teach English to the beginner students, uh, it's really necessary that the student or that the teacher know how to teach to the beginner students. And in the classroom, sometimes there are uh, false false beginner students and true beginner students. Uh, the true beginner students are all those students who don't know nothing about English. They have never studied English. They don't know any words, and you can speak in English and you can say maybe hello, how are you, and the beginner student don't they they are not going to understand nothing because they are the true beginner students, and the false beginner students are all those students who already know some words, and maybe they study in a place or in the internet, or they went to the school and for a short time and they know some words. So maybe you can speak to the false students and they maybe can understand any words, maybe one or two words, but they are going to understand maybe a little. So it's very important that that the teacher have to know how to teach to those students. So in this information it say that today is really important and today is really easy study English because we have the information in any place. We have the information in any place. You can study English in a university. You can study English in a school or take a course in an academic here in San Miguel or San Salvador. So you have to pay for that. You have to pay for learn English. So if you want to pay for that, you can learn English looking information in the internet. So you can buy and you can buy $1 of the internet and look in the information that you are interested in and you want to know some words in English. You can study through videos on YouTube. On YouTube, you can learn all that you want to. So, but this is depends of each person. It depends of each person, and sometimes is is really bored study by ourselves, but this is more difficult because maybe you can start learning English, but only for a short time. But for 1 or 2 months uh, later, you don't want to study anymore. But here, until you find another person who wants to speak English too, and you can motivate about that. Or when you hear some people speaking in English, you motivate yourself when you hear another people speaking in English, because the English more the pronunciation is is so beautiful, so beautiful. When I hear some people speaking English, I want to speak with them, or I want to speak in the same way that they speak, and say whatever any words when I was studying, or when I was in the university and I heard speak to the Mr. Arturo, the Mr. Arturo speaking English, and really fast. It's really hard to understand the words because his pronunciation is I think his pronunciation is exactly he speak. I when I hear the minister, I know that he can say whatever he wants to say. Well, and in the next week, in the next week, it's a introduce or teach vocabulary. In this week, we have two parts: introduce vocabulary, and it's necessary that the teacher introduce some vocabulary before giving the information, all the information about a topic in the classroom, and give the vocabulary and looking for some words that you can hear over common words. Don't looking for words that you hear one words a year. Looking for the words that you can hear every day, because if you studied some that vocabulary in a classroom, and you study and you want to learn the words, maybe you can remember the words, but in the moment, but you never are going to hear that word again, and that word you forget early, because is a word that you can hear with frequently. So looking for words, and that is in for words, common words, that is in the first part, and in the second part, and teaching the vocabulary, it's a that you have to teach to the students and giving the vocabulary, but teach the pronunciation or the in the spoken form, and giving the pronunciation. And when the students already know the words and they know how pronounce the words, so you can teach to them the grading form, how you can write those words, and this is the teaching the vocabulary in the both parts. And to finish with this, it's a teaching through games and flashcards, and this is my favorite part because when I'm studying and I feel or in some moments I don't want to study because in some cases I look or I read many informations, and I don't want to read much words, and learning English through games is more interesting for me. And I think this is another of the best way to learn English about the interactions. The interaction is the best, but doing some interactions and make the combination with this, with the interaction with the games and the flashcard, to make more easier the teach to the students. Uh, this is the best way for me, and I prefer learn or teach English through games and flashcards. And it's more is easier to the teacher teach through games and flashcards, and then the class became or become more interesting, more funny or fun, and the students learn faster. So this is my information. This is the video, and thank you for this opportunity to explain and to put in practice my English here. And thank you so much. Have a good day and take care.